and I wanted to share a ranking spreadsheet that I made. So what I'm looking at here is just silver coins, just the modern silver coins. I don't look at any old coins because I consider them, while technically you could use an old coin in a transaction, practically speaking, people don't know what they are. Like if you try to use a Morgan dollar at a convenience store, which would be pretty stupid, but they wouldn't even know what it is. So confine this analysis to looking at silver nickel, Roosevelt dime, silver, Washington quarter, Kennedy half dollar, the 40% Kennedy half dollar, Eisenhower dollar, and the American silver eagle. So what I do is I try to be as objective as possible by looking at characteristics of these coins, treating them as just physical items and looking at their physical characteristics. And so one thing you can look at, well, is their cost. So, these are all inputs. Everything in yellow is an input. And so this changes. I just got these off of AppMax recently, looking at the cheapest, not the cheapest option, buying, say, one coin by check, by the smallest quantity I could buy, and using a check instead of a credit card. And in some cases, a roll of 50, say for $81.61, you divide that out, you get $1.63 per silver dime. So that's what I'm doing here. Now what I do is, so these are what I call a cost measure. Of course, it's a cost. I also have other measures I look at. Cost of silver, cost of face value, and I look at something I call total value, which is the silver content plus the face value. So for example, there's some silver coins, I think they're Canadian, where it's just an ounce of silver, but the face value is $100. So that, to me anyways, has more total value than a silver coin that's just 1 ounce of silver with $1 face value. And then what I do is I also look at fineness, some measures of inherent worth. So fineness, looking at the silver value as I mentioned, and then I subtract the silver value from the cost of the coin to get the premium. Face value as I mentioned, total value as I mentioned. I look at silver value to ratio of silver value to face value divided by the ounces, total value divided by the ounces. And then I look at things like the diameter of the coin, the thickness, the volume. The volume comes from treating, you have a height, which is the thickness, and you have a width, which is the diameter, and then you treat it as a very, very short cylinder. So it's like pi r squared, times the height, times the thickness. Anyways, to get a measure of what I call density, the silver value divided by the volume of the coin. Face to volume, total to volume. And now you'll see lots, so let me back up. Then the next thing I do is I look at a measure. So say this, what I call the density, silver value to volume. And I ask myself, do I want that to be small or large? In this case, I want it to be large because I want the silver to be packed in the coin. So the dime does that. So I calculate the maximum down here, and then I have an indicator that just says, is this one equal to this? Is this one equal to this? Is this one equal to this? And if it is, I put a 1 there. Otherwise, it's 0. And I do that for all of these kind of characteristics or ratios. Let me find one where the minimum is better. So for premiums, ask yourself, Do I want premiums to be large if I'm buying or small? You want them to be small. So you take the minimum here, and the nickel, silver nickel, has the smallest premium. So now what I do is I simply add up all of these indicator columns to get the winner in each category. Now I've highlighted the winners in green, but here are the counts. So you can see the silver eagle has the most wins, followed by the silver nickel. And then what I do is I want to put this in a rank from like first place, second place, third place, fourth place, and so forth. And that's just done using this rank function. So you can see silver eagle wins, then the nickel, the 40% Kennedy half dollar, Eisenhower silver, Eisenhower dollar, dime, and then quarter, and the 1964 half dollar. This is a somewhat unrepresentative list in a sense because it has the American Silver Eagle here being compared, which is, that doesn't really, you're not really going to see that in the transaction. So it's kind of an oddity to put in this list. So this is the ranking with the ASE. Here I have the same exact ranking, but without the ASE. So all of these values here, the costs and all the other stuff, is just being brought down from up above. So now the winners are a little different, right? So now the Kennedy half dollar and the silver nickel are tied for the #1 spot. And the Roosevelt dime, quarter, and 40% half are tied for second place, essentially. And the Eisenhower dollar comes in last. Okay, I hope that made sense. I'm just trying to be objective about buying coins because at the end of the day, they're just kind of they have physical characteristics, they have cost characteristics, and from that you can get a lot of ratios. And if you want those ratios to be large or small, so you can come up with an overall ranking pretty easy. Now, like I said, these costs change all the time. So if now, say, someone can buy a dime for a quarter, that just changed these rankings quite a bit. They just update instantly. So every time I'm interested in looking at coins, I'll go in and update these prices and see how things change. Anyways, I hope that made sense, and I hope you found this useful. I'll show a similar ranking. I do a similar ranking like this with the 1/10 troy ounce pieces for gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. And then I also do a ranking like this for modern clad coins. So you can kind of get an idea if you're interested in those coins as well. Alright everybody, hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.